Elsewhere now, retired Chief Justice Dr. Willy Mutunga has criticised the Supreme Court for overturning decisions that have been agreed upon by both the High Court and the Court of Appeal. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the Supreme Court at 12 conference that comes just days after the Supreme Court overturned a decision made by the High Court and upheld by the Court of Appeal on the Finance Act 2023, Mutunga said the Supreme Court may be supreme but still capable of making errors. NTV's political affairs reporter David Muthoka spoke with the retired CJ on the sidelines of the conference, as well as to lawyers on the performance of the Supreme Court 12 years after its establishment.
A week after the Supreme Court of Kenya reinstated the controversial Finance Act 2023 in the process of overturning rulings made by the High Court and the Court of Appeal on the Act, retired Chief Justice Willy Mutunga has expressed concerns over the judiciary's inconsistency.
The Supreme Court may be supreme, but not infallible. And therefore, a learning posture is an imperative, especially where the Supreme Court overturns decisions that have been agreed on by the High Court and the Court of Appeal.
Speaking at the closing ceremony of the Supreme Court at 12 conference, Mutunga, who was also the Supreme Court's first president, urged the current president, Martha Koome, and the heads of the Court of Appeal as well as the High Court to engage in dialogue to avoid differences as witnessed on the Finance Act matter.
This is the only institution that stands in between you, the people, and serious dictatorships, going forward. So if it collapses, you are on your own. And in this country, no one is safe.
Mutunga spoke on a day when several lawyers also delivered their verdict on the performance of the Supreme Court 12 years after it was established. Senior counsel Charles Kanjama said the approval ratings for the Supreme Court may have gone down, especially after the Finance Act 2023 ruling.
And there's also been a feeling by some lawyers that now it is the High Court and the Court of Appeal which have a bit more progressive jurisprudence in matters of governance, justice and rule of law, and that the Supreme Court is a bit more conservative and it has pulled back some of the advances of the transformative constitution.
Lawyer Morara Omoke also cited the Finance Act ruling when arguing that the Supreme Court is increasingly becoming inconsistent.
There was a decision called the British American Tobacco case, where they gave a very good definition, and they said that public participation ought to be real, it should not be illusory, it should not be cosmetic. Along the way, the court started swaying away from that position. It started to appear as though it was lowering the bar, to the point where now in the finance bill, the people are saying that this standard has been taken to the basement.
David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.
Confrontation, because now if